help to process the application faster if you already have the pre-approval letter. Continue from what Angie said earlier about finding a good lender, get a pre-approval from the lender, and then we find a good agent, right? Go look at the houses. So what is next step in putting that offer? Now that we put in the offer, what is the next step that as a buyer that need to know? That you have negotiated contract already.
Right.
So
we
the next step
contract to put in an offer.
Home inspection.
Okay, so why should we have a home inspection, or why is there a scenario say, okay, I pay off this house with cash, I don't want to do an inspection, would still be good?
If you pay cash, you don't have to do inspection, but you should, because it shows you what's wrong with the house. Is there AC working, the water heater, or any leaking in the house? House to the roof, the kitchen. They're going to find out everything wrong in the house to help you to find out. Because you put a couple $100,000 in the house, but you don't want to spend a couple $100 to do inspection. Right. Later you find out something wrong. Yeah. What can you do?
So then there is more of an advantage to do a house inspection than not to do a house inspections.
Right, because it'll cost you more later on to fix all the problems that you didn't find if you didn't do an inspection.
Well, what about a brand spanking new house from the builder? I just built the house from the builder. They are brand new. There's no problem with it. I have builder warranty and everything. Do I still should go get a house inspection?
Yes.
Yeah, I have many examples to share with you. For the example with the cash buyer, we worked with a cash buyer not too long ago. The house was like $250. The house was newly renovated. Nothing looks wrong. So the buyer said, I don't need a home inspection. I want to save $500. I said, okay. Sign right here saying that we recommended a home inspection, but you refused. So if something would have happened after closing, then we had suggested it. So he signed. He moved in. 2 months later, the whole roof collapsed because the house was old. The investor bought it, flipped it, basically painted, make it look pretty, but because of no inspection, they didn't find out that above the ceiling was so wood rots and the structure was really rough and bad. And they moved in and they were doing something to the wall, so it shook, so the roof fell down. And he called back and he go, what can we do? And I say, I'm sorry, now you're just gonna have to fix it yourself because I suggested it. Before closing, if we had found out the roof was bad and the structure was bad, we could have canceled the contract or have the seller fix it. But because you didn't take my advice, I'm sorry. Another example is a brand new construction, also closed recently. It's a brand new house, so we didn't need to do inspection. Well, I suggested that the buyer have to do the inspection just to make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. All the outlets have electricity. The shower is fully installed. He said, oh no, it's good. We got a home warranty. I don't need to spend $500. I said, okay, please sign right here that you did not take our suggestion to do the home inspection. He moved in his first night, trying to go take a shower in the master bathroom. He turned the knob. The entire thing fell out and water shooting out from the wall. And guess what? He blew my phone up in the middle of the night because he said, how can I stop this? So he had to run outside to turn the main valve off. But that is the point, is that if you don't do the inspection, what happened after closing is on you. So you paid $400,000 on a home, but you don't want to spend $500 for a home inspection to make sure your home is protected. So I think you can't sleep at night. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I did that.
So they don't have to, but they should.
They should.
They
yes.
should.
You don't have to do anything, guys. You don't have to do anything, but you should.
So technically the advantage of having a house inspection, can you negotiate for seller incentive to repair for you or for anything at all if you have this terrible inspection with all that red X on your inspection report? What can you do? Do you have to do all your own, or all of them has to be done by the seller? Because we sure have a lot of buyer would want the seller to fix the whole list. Or is there certain thing that we recommend, or how is that going on?
After the inspection, the buyer can renegotiate the sale price, or they can negotiate on the repair. I want you to fix the AC, I want you to fix the water heater, whatever they can see on the list. But also on the other hand, remember this, on the other hand, the seller can say, no, I'm not going to fix anything. So that step we have to renegotiate everything, because I sell you the house for 500,000, I'm not going to repair anything. But the buyer say, hey, I spent 500,000, I want you to fix everything. So that's the step we have to renegotiate
It's all
everything.
about negotiation.
That's why you need a good agent.
A good agent.
That's why we need a good agent, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever have like seller say no to everything on the list?
I think maybe once, but still they give us something. And the reason is structure, plumbing, all the important thing. Especially the lender require them to fix. If the lender require and the seller is not fixing it, then the buyer can't get approval, right? So then it's in the best interest of the seller to fix whatever lender requested it. Now everything else is extra. So if the seller want to sell that house to this buyer, then yes, typically they would do it, or they can credit the money. I never had anybody say no to the request that I put through for our buyers.
Most of the time they will repair some, but I had an experience with a customer. They request everything. I want you to fix everything.
The whole list.
And the whole list. And then the seller say, no, cancel the contract.
Yeah.
I'm not going to repair anything. But some sellers say, okay, I'll do everything. So that's, you don't know until you ask them case by case.
So being in Florida, you know how the hurricane and all of that affecting the roof, a lot of them have the seller like consider most of the time, because the buyer will be worrying about the roof and things like that, have the seller been lenient, giving incentive or credit or anything about the roof if we have an inspection about having roof issues?
If we have a roof that is too old and the buyer cannot get the lender to approve, then the seller has to replace the roof. If the buyer can get their insurance with the mortgage, then typically sometimes the seller don't want to replace that roof, but they will give some sort of incentive to a closing cost.
So having a good agent, they
Having
can
a good
negotiate
agent.
for a good roof, guys. Or a new roof.
A new roof.
We have the inspections. Now, what is next step that the buyer need to know